Welcome to Keeping Score. I'm Rick Horrow. Each week we bring you insights from the playmakers, deal makers, and rule makers in the world of sports. I'll give you my take on some of the items of the week using my 30 years of experience doing deals for teams, leagues, and players in the $750 billion business of sports. Plus, we'll talk with a central figure in the sports world. The views expressed in this podcast are my own and do not represent the views of Reuters. Let's get started. Nike hoping to make LeBron James the next Michael Jordan. The shoe company signing a lifetime deal with the current NBA superstar. Terms not announced, but a source told ESPN it far exceeds the 10-year, $300 million deal Nike recently signed with Oklahoma City Thunder forward Kevin Durant. Nike says it sees the potential to grow its LeBron business throughout his playing career and beyond. That's something it has done with its Michael Jordan business, which is expected to grow to $4.5 billion by 2020. Harden signs with Adidas, Romo and Spieth with Under Armour. The bottom line is the war increase with shoe companies, good for teams, leagues, and obviously endorsers. The NFL and team owners have finally set a hard deadline to end the drama and commotion surrounding the league's potential LA expansion. Sports Business Daily reports December 28 is now the deadline to submit a viable stadium proposal for the three cities vying to keep their teams from relocating to America's second biggest market. St. Louis is the only city that can realistically meet the late December deadline, with Oakland and San Diego far from a solid stadium plan. Coming right off this deadline, the league has scheduled a special meeting in early January in which owners will likely vote on relocation once and for all. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is still weighing the merit of proposals in Southern California, as well as progress toward a new facility in St. Louis, San Diego, and Oakland. What Commissioner Goodell doesn't want: public infighting among his 32 owners, and a lame duck situation for one of the three cities in play.
Oh, he's in the clear, he's got away!
And after another MLS Cup, the league focuses on expansion. Major League Soccer is planning to expand to 28 clubs over time, with the league's Board of Governors giving its approval, according to the Portland Oregonian. The league plans to have 24 teams by 2020, as Atlanta United FC, LAFC, and Minnesota United FC are scheduled to join the league within the next 3 years. David Beckham's in-development Miami franchise also expected to become the league's 24th club. The league recently gave a strong endorsement to the latest stadium plan by Beckham's group, and after previous efforts in Miami failed, there's some speculation that Sacramento jumps ahead of Miami in line to get an MLS club. But from Portland to Miami, the MLS brand has never been stronger. Now to auto racing. We tracked down Marco Andretti at a pre-race party in Phoenix and talked to him about IndyCar racing, courtesy of our friends at NASCAR.
Marco Andretti, driver extraordinaire from family extraordinaire. So there's a big deal happening in Phoenix in the next year and beyond as far as IndyCar racing. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I can't wait. April 2nd. It's going to be fun. I mean, I've tested the IndyCar once a few years back, actually a long while back on the mile, and it was a blast. And I mean, they've done some changes since, and I'm out there next Wednesday, so I can't wait. So. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be our cars are really, really good for mile ovals. It should be fun.
Well, you're a driver and a big-name driver at that, but you're not a business guy. But this is the third big race that's going to happen every year at PIR. And so I assume people are going to really appreciate the dynamics of an IndyCar race in the Valley. They've never seen it before, so excited about that, too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking, and, you know, they're breaking track records in NASCAR around 25 seconds. We're going to be sub 20 seconds, so we're going to be flying around that place. It's going to be fun.
What's it like to drive a car 20% faster than the NASCAR guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, some places we're even quicker than that, but it's a blast. I mean, these cars, they produce a lot of downforce, a lot of grip, so we can carry. Probably qualifying, we're going to be trimming the cars and flat out around. 2 laps. I mean, that's the goal, obviously. But yeah, I mean, the types of speeds that we'll see on such a little track is pretty staggering. But I mean, places like Indianapolis, we run almost 240 average around there, so it's fun.
Indy, you're at home. I mean, obviously you're at home. In a place like Phoenix, this is the first time people are going to see how exciting IndyCar racing is. You feel like you're kind of a Pied Piper bringing a sport to people that hadn't seen it before.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, they used to run here, but hopefully this is something that's going to last for many years. Hopefully we bring a lot to the local economy, and we're definitely going to put on a show. That's for sure.
So international listeners and viewers want to know. So you're sitting down at Thanksgiving. It's a family business. You're in high school or grade school. When do you decide you want to get into the family business and kind of continue the legacy?
It's funny. It starts, amazingly young. I think when you're just a toddler, you hope to be a driver anyway, but you really have to work at it, and it became a reality. You start winning some races, start coming up through the formulas, and you almost have to dominate the lower formulas to be able to solidify yourself with a good sponsor and a good team at the top level. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication.
All right, NASCAR guys, IndyCar drivers, really good at this because they talk about sponsors as their soundbite no matter what. So tell us about your sponsors and who they are and what they do.
I've been blessed with a bunch of them, but the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group has been with me, almost it's going to be 7 years, so it's, I really appreciate their loyalty, but, the team I'm with Andretti Auto Sports, so look out for the number 27 at Phoenix.
How do you learn, so from a business perspective, business show, how do you learn at an early age? The most important thing is no matter what the guy asks, you got to talk about the sponsors. That's really important. Because football players, the big four sports, they do it sometimes, but not as well as you guys. How do you do it?
It's just you have to really see the big picture. And honestly, we're not going racing without the fans and without the sponsors, and it all ties together. It's something that needs to be developed because at a young age, it's like, just take me to the race car, but you really have to learn the ins and outs of the business, which I'm able to do having my dad run the team. I'm in on a lot of the day-to-day, movements of the team and stuff like that. So I'm really up to date with a lot that's going on.
Has the name helped you or hurt you?
I don't think it's hurt me because there's big expectations, but I have big expectations on myself. You want to succeed no matter what your last name is. So, but obviously it's opened some doors as well. So, it's a little bit of both.
The name helps you in the boardroom, though, I suspect.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of it's right place at the right time, but you gotta have sponsors, and that really, like I said, it's the fans and the sponsors that let us really do what we love to do.
Do you enjoy the business? Are you a business guy? Do you appreciate the business of racing generally?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's only really in the last 3 years have I really been tuning into and really grilling Dad on what's going on in the day-to-day. Because none of this grows on trees. We have to work very hard at it. We have to generate a good return, to the sponsors, and we have to justify it. We can't just put the name on the car and go drive around. So a lot of that's winning races, but a lot of it is just what markets and where, and there's a lot of it that makes Andretti Auto Sport go around. They're in a lot of different categories now as well, so keeps us busy. It's fun though.
We've interviewed some really high-class athletes in a perspective of understanding their business. Missy Franklin, Michael Jordan, world-class. So you've got to be in a position where X% of your time is behind the wheel, but you also got to understand the balance sheets too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can't just, there's budgets for everything we do. There's crash damage budgets, where that's where Dad really gets on me. But luckily we've been pretty good with that. But there's knowing where to cut and how to keep families employed at the same time. It's definitely a balance.
Will you have a Monday morning meeting after not so good a race and talk about the details of the crash damage budget?
Luckily, there wasn't much this year, but sometimes. But to be honest, Dad knows how it goes, and a lot of times it's out of my control. If I do something stupid, I'll hear about it, that's for sure. But most of the time I already know what I did wrong at that point. But it's mostly me with my engineer and my team. My dad doesn't really micromanage. He's pretty good at that, so he lets us do our thing.
But the bottom line is the Andretti family is a really tight business operation, not just a racing operation as well.
100%.
Man, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Keeping Score. I'm Rick Horrow. The producer of the show is Alex Cohen. Audio producer Adam Wiesen. Technical assistance provided by Jamie Weber, Tanner Simpkins, and Carlos Swadek. The executive editor of Reuters Digital, Dan Colarusso.